Recently implemented a little new wifey rule, and it seems to be very successful, and I'm questioning if I should even bring it up because I don't want to give myself away, but I'm actually doing this for the wives out there because it's a hot tip. It's a husband hack. It's a marriage happiness hack. Would you like to know?
I'm so curious.
Anytime you start to talk, or if you call me, I say to myself, it's all about him. And I just literally operate. I make the conversation, I just go, and I rig my attention that this conversation's all about him.
This is
and
horrible.
It goes really smoothly.
This is horrible.
But it works really well. I don't get annoyed because whenever I try to put my own thing in there, you don't ever really hear or see me or understand
you make me sound horrible.
This is husbands. This is men. You're good for a few things, but it's a marriage hack. I'm telling you, try it, ladies.
What is the key to a happy marriage? Let's talk about it. First, you gotta respect your husband. Allow him to be the man that he can be, because if he feels that you don't believe in his greatness, he won't provide that greatness for you, let alone himself. And this is a tough one, but if you deal with insecurities or trust issues, try not to take it personally when he wants to take on a hobby, or he needs to rest, or even when he's just being quiet. You should encourage each other to pursue your interests. Let him speak. It may be hard to have a level conversation when you're communicating a subject that you're really passionate about, but it's important to foster an open dialogue approach and practice the respect you do have for him by letting him speak as well. He will likely bring a different perspective that can elevate you both as a unit. Which brings us to listening. You won't know him or how to love him if you don't listen to him. And I don't mean just hearing what he has to say. I mean comprehending his perspective, learning his trauma, and his body language. When you know him well, you'll know where his silence and interests come from, and you'll be less likely to be defensive when he gives you feedback or expresses himself. Let's keep talking about it in part 2. And as always, awareness brings growth.
What's the key to a long-lasting marriage?
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear?
Yes, dear.
So happy wife, happy life is real?
Happy wife, happy life is 100% real. You're never gonna always make her happy, but you should damn sure try.
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Because listen, if you're not yes dearing her, somebody else going yes dear her. You better yes dear her. Don't get cocky. Don't get all caught up in your machismo that like she needs to listen to me because I'm the man, I'm the husband. What? Because there's somebody to listen to her, and listen, women are emotional, man. And once she gets that emotional, Marvin Gaye says sexual healing, right? That emotional healing is even more powerful.
Absolutely.
So yes, it's a yes dear situation. There's times I don't want to, but like yes, I yes dear. Like when it comes time to like take my daughter to like practice or something, she'll sit there. My wife she likes to do the French thing, right? I call it the French thing, the we. We need to take Rhea to practice. We got to do this, right? And I'm like, that ain't a we thing. That's a you thing, meaning me.
Yeah.
And so like she's like, oh, we got to pick Rhea up at 6, and I'm like, okay. Then all of a sudden 6 roll around. She's like, so, and I go, yeah, I'll go get her. That's okay, cause I know you wasn't trying to go anyway, so I'll just go. But yeah, that's the key. That's the key. And I learned that from quite a few individuals that have been married 60, 70, 80 years.
And those are the ones we listen to.
Those are the ones I listen to.
According to the 1950s book Smile, here are some tips to look after your husband. Never speak first. Let him speak first. Always have a cool or warm drink ready for him as he enters the home. Also make sure that you arrange the pillows so that he can sit down and be comfortable, and take his shoes off. When you do speak in a low, soft, and pleasant and soothing voice. Touch up your makeup, put a ribbon in your hair, and be fresh looking. And make sure that the washing machine isn't running when he comes home. It's too loud. And prepare your children to behave in the presence of their father. Always saying, yes, Daddy. No, Daddy. Please, thank you, Daddy. Make sure you have a nice dress on, your heels, an apron, your hair's done, your nails are done. You are smiling. Whatever you went through during the day is nothing compared to the awful stress he must have endured all day in order to make you happy and have a happy home.
For a marriage to work out, it takes 2 people. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about a very important and hot topic of discussion on the tips for a healthy and happy marriage. So with me, I have a few clips from TikTok of both men and women, couples sharing on what they do, what they did, or what they learned to do, or what they adopted to do for their marriages to work out. So if you support marriage, and if you're planning to get married or you are into marriage, then this video is for you. Listen to these couples, listen to these men and women, because they have experience. So we are going to watch these clips together, learn something, understand what they are trying to say, and then we shall react. So without wasting a lot of time, hit that like button, subscribe if it is your first time here. I'll catch up with you after these clips are played. So let's get into this.
All right, babe. What do you think is the strength of our relationship and, of course, marriage? I'm not talking about God. God is the pillar and the foundation of our marriage, of our relationship. But in this case, I'm talking about something that one or two people can apply in their relationship and, of course, experience different results. Yep.
Okay, love. I think the most important thing in our marriage is communication. And this is not something that we started now. This is something that we built from the beginning of our relationship. We have a very strong communication system where we communicate about everything, about a small thing to a bigger thing. And this is something that we do daily. It has become part of us to communicate.
And it didn't start now.
And it didn't start now.
It started when we were in a relationship.
Yes.
And we moved with it to our marriage.
Yes.
Powerful.
Yes, love. And I also believe is selflessness. You put me first in everything, and I'll put you first in everything. And I believe you and me understanding the role and the purpose that we have in our marriage has brought us this far. You know how to put me first in everything. And that has brought us where we are. And I also believe is leadership, your leadership qualities, your leadership skills. You know, I have seen you leading me, I've seen you leading us, I've seen you leading our children. So I have seen you, you know, leading us from being in a relationship to being married to having children, which is being parents. And because of how you lead us, because of how you lead our children and our household, it has become something beautiful. And we have turned to be what we are today because of that.
Very, very powerful. Just to add on top of what you just said, and I also believe that we have created in our marriage, which did not start now, what I call friendship environment. There are times where we talk to each other as wife and husband, or husband and wife. But there are times where we talk to each other as friends. I know when to talk to you as a husband, and I know when to talk to you as a friend. Now, that is very powerful. And one more thing as well, just to add on top of what you just said, respect.
Yes,
definitely. You see, love is able to bring two people together. But what will keep two people together is respect. Right. Respect is so important in a relationship that it does not have to be a one-way thing. It goes both ways. So it does not have to be the woman, the wife, respecting the man. The man must also respect the woman or the wife.
What makes a happy marriage? A healthy marriage usually is a happy marriage. But then again, a happy marriage is usually a healthy marriage. There are 3 pillars on which a marriage is based. Without those 3 pillars, it cannot last. Pillar number 1, generosity, kindness. If you're not kind and you're not generous, you cannot be married. You probably can't even be a good friend. Generosity means generous with your possessions, generous with your time, generous with your space, generous with your opinion and generous with your words. If you have that kind of generosity, that kind of openness to another person, then the other person is comfortable in your life because you've made room for them. Without that generosity, your doors are closed, nobody is welcome, and nobody is going to feel comfortable in your world. Pillar number 2, respect. Dignity. Your own dignity, your spouse's dignity. A man said to me, my wife suffered from Alzheimer's, senile condition, for a number of years. And when she passed away, the husband said, I don't know if I was really a good husband, but I do know that I never compromised her dignity. I said, you were a good husband. Never compromise each other's dignity. Never tear away a mask that a person needs to wear. Never lower your own dignity. Don't make it hard on your spouse to respect you. Why, when the doorbell rings, do you go and get dressed before you answer the door? It's just a pizza guy delivering pizza. Why do you have to be decent when you open the door to the delivery boy? You don't have to be decent to your husband, to your wife? Something's wrong with that. Instead of lowering your standards at home and in the bedroom, raise your standard. Be more elegant, more dignified, more respectful, not less. You got to live with this guy for the rest of your life, and you have to live with her for the rest of your life. Don't make it hard by being sloppy or careless or grungy, like fathers who say to their daughters, you can't go out dressed like that. They should say the opposite. Dressed like that, go out. At home, you should be a mensch. So give the home a little more respect. That's the second pillar. The third pillar is, don't treat marriage like it's your idea. You met somebody, you fell in love, you decided to marry. No, marriage is not your idea. Marriage is a divine arrangement. It's God's idea. It's a sacred institution. It has something to do with souls getting divided and finding each other. There's something mystical going on here. It's way above your pay grade. Don't reduce it to your own little interest. This is where next generation is going to come from. This is how you make children. God is very particular about his children. In a marriage, the third pillar is sanctity. You're engaging in something sacred and awesome. Give it the awe and the respect that it deserves. Not only your marriage, other people's marriage too. It's sacred. Never try to outshine a husband in the presence of his wife. It's not nice. Never try to make a woman look bad in the presence of her husband. The marriage is sacred. Don't mess with it. That's sanctity. You're engaged in something bigger than the two of you, respectfully, thoughtfully. The result is you're going to have a happy marriage. The result is you're going to love what you have. But it's the 3 pillars that make it work.
Since you guys are so curious about my marriage, I'm going to talk about it. These are the controversial rules in my marriage that some people hate, but they work for us. We live traditionally. My husband leads, I follow, and our marriage has never been stronger. Rule 1, he has the final say. Not because I'm weak, but because I trust his judgment. One leader means no chaos. Rule 2, I don't have to work. If I want to quit everything tomorrow, he would support me. What I choose to do is my freedom, not my burden. Rule 3, I protect the home. Cooking, cleaning, nurturing, creating peace. That is my power. A man cannot fight battles outside if his home feels like a battlefield itself. Rule 4, no opposite sex best friends. No secret DMs. No just friends with somebody who would date you if they had the chance. Loyalty is black and white. Rule 5, he pays the bills, I multiply the value. He provides financially, I turn what he provides into meals, memories, and a home worth living in. Rule 6, no clubbing or bar scenes without each other. Single life behavior does not belong in a committed marriage. Rule 7, no thirst traps online. If you ever see a risque photo of me, it's because my husband posted it himself and I reshared it. I'm not advertising for other men's attention. Rule 8, he protects me physically, I protect him emotionally. That's the masculine and feminine dynamic working in sync. Rule 9, divorce is never an option. We fix it, we fight for it, we don't quit when things get hard. Rule 10, sex is never a bargaining chip. It is not a weapon, it is a part of intimacy that keeps the bond alive. These rules might sound crazy to modern culture, but they work because we respect our roles. You don't have to agree, but don't knock what's working. If this makes you mad, ask yourself why. And if you get it, you know why traditional marriage is stronger than ever.
I was about to leave my husband, but then I realized that marriage actually goes through 6 different phases. And we were actually at phase 3. And it seems as though phase 3 is the popular phase for people to leave, apparently. But if you stick it through, phase 6 looks really good to me. Now, phase one, of course, is the dream phase, is what they call it, is where everything seems magical, everything is perfect. You know, reality hasn't really kicked in yet because, you know, you haven't really seen the true person yet. Yes. So phase one of it is the dream phase, where you just envision your life with the person and everything is perfect. Now phase two is the discovery phase, and this is where the mask comes off. You get to see the real person, you know, quirks, wounds, all of that, flaws, right? And then you ask yourself if you can really love the person for who they actually are. Now phase three is the disappointing phase, the phase where you're really wondering, did I actually marry the right person? Arguments tend to feel very personal, like things just feel like, okay, this person actually doesn't really like me. You are disappointed in the husband or the wife that you actually have, because you have discovered who they really are, and you are telling yourself, you're saying that this isn't what I had expected. Phase three, most people leave at that phase. Phase four is the rebuilding phase, the phase where you actually stop trying to change this man or this woman, and you now accept who they actually are. You set boundaries and love becomes very intentional. Phase five is the deep love phase. Now you've seen this person at their worst and you still stayed, and now there is peace, passion, and companionship. I love phase five. Imagine what phase six is going to look like. And the last phase, phase six, the legacy phase, the phase where you actually become role models for love without even realizing it, right? Listen, people look at you and say, I want a love just like that. They don't even know what you've gone through, you know. They don't know that you went through all 6 phases of the marriage. But at that phase, you know that you've built something that has outlasted feelings, because feelings do change, right? You have chosen this person through thick and thin. You have built a legacy that goes beyond just wealth. You know, you've built a legacy of love that has now become exemplary. Anyway, let me know down below in the comment section which phase you believe that your marriage is at, and if you feel that you can actually take it through all 6 phases, and if you have actually gone through a divorce, did you leave at phase 3? Anyways,
my husband and I have been together for almost 13 years, married for 6, we have 2 kids, and this is the list I made on how we keep our marriage healthy and happy. Number 1 is open communication. We talk about everything. He's my best friend. We talk about our feelings, we talk about our goals, we talk about our frustrations, and we're comfortable enough that we communicate without fear of being judged. Number 2, small acts of kindness. I love when he'll call me or he'll text me and say, hey, I just booked a babysitter. Get ready tonight. I want to take you out for dinner or for an activity. The fact that he took the time to get our babysitter and will be surprising me with a date night, that says a lot. His favorite is making his favorite meal after a long work day. Little acts of kindness mean so much in a relationship. Number 3 is affection. To me, affection is so important. Like, I'm so needy of affection. I love hugging him and I love kissing him. It's just what keeps our connection so strong. Life gets so busy with work, especially when you're a parent. But I believe that affection is what brings us back to each other. And it's also teaching our children that this house, this home is made with love, that it's okay to be affectionate. It's okay to hug and say, I love you. Number 4 is space and independence. Marriage isn't about being with each other 24/7. Being able to trust each other enough to breathe. We give each other space. We have our separate hobbies. We have our group of friends. He will have a guy's night out. I will have a girl's night out. He wants to go out for a drink after work. Please go ahead, be my guest. I want to go grab dinner with a girlfriend. I go ahead and do it. But we give each other that space and we don't feel guilty about it. Number 5, we respect our peace. He works very long hours. So if he wants to come home and unwind, I let him have his space. I let him have his moment. If I've been home with the kids all day long, he will take the kids and lets me have my quiet time. There's no resentment. There's no judgment. And in no means I'm saying that we have a perfect marriage. Yes, we argue. Yes, we have disagreements. But we have learned from our mistakes on how to not react, communicate, and just respect each other, which that's very important. I have a few more bullet points, but I don't want to bombard everybody. So if you want to hear the rest, let me know and I'll do a part 2. He's also with a Colombian, so obviously he won the lottery. I'm just kidding, that's a bonus. But here's a picture of us. That's my best friend. That's my babe. That's my man.
5 ways I maintain my marriage to Mr. Inherited Hour. We laugh constantly. Whether the car doesn't start, or the toddler has decided to paint the dog, or maybe if one of us has accidentally burnt the dinner, we will find something to laugh about. Marriage thrives on shared humour and is the glue, and sometimes it stops us from moving into separate wings. 2. We give each other space. He has his hobbies and I have mine. If he needs some quiet time with a cup of tea in his man shed, then that's absolutely okay. If I need an hour with my walking pad and Radio 4, then he leaves me to it. Absence makes the heart grow slightly less irritable. 3, we ask, never assume. Mind reading is a myth, and clear communication is far more romantic than deeply sighing over the laundry basket. We speak kindly to each other, even if there is a disagreement. In fact, we've never ever had a shouting match or argument. Never a raised voice, no sarcastic digs, just... Help me understand why you thought painting the hallway without taping the skirting boards was a good idea. I remember that all too well. And yes, it was me doing the painting. Kindness keeps things gentle, and nobody wants to argue with somebody handing you a cup of hot tea. And 5, we appreciate the small things. He always brings me a cup of tea in the morning. 2 or 3 times a week I will cook him his favourite meal. We say thank you to each other and we genuinely mean it. But it is not the grand gestures, it's the daily small ones that build a long-lasting, happy marriage.
So can I give you 5 tips to have a really long-lasting and happy marriage? Today is my 26th wedding anniversary, and in honor of that, I thought I would share some ideas that I think will help you have a really happy and long-lasting relationship. With so many people on this app and other places talking about why get married, you're just going to get divorced, you know, the leading cause of divorce is marriage, I thought it would be nice for me to give you a happy and realistic tale of marriage and some advice that is both personal and professional. You know, I'm a relationship psychologist. So let's start this. I was 24 when we got married, and when I think about that now, it just blows my mind. I was way too young to get married then, but I was hell-bent on doing it, so we did it. And my husband is 10 years older than me, 9.5, but he's 10 years older than me and had been divorced and had a child. So our relationship was complicated from the beginning. It was the best and luckiest decision I ever made to marry him because he is an exceptional person. And I say it was lucky because there is just no way you're going to know when you start out whether or not your marriage is going to be a long-term marriage. Many of us, in fact, all of us, have the best of intentions when we get married, but when life gets hard, you know, when illness happens, when financial problems happen, when death happens, when accidents happen, when, you as a person change or your partner changes, you just don't know whether you're going to be able to keep going. And sometimes your partner does something so horrific or they leave you and abandon you, there's nothing you can do. So this is not at all about finding fault with you. This is more what you can do possibly to optimize the chances that you'll stay married long term. It's really easy to promise that. It's really easy to promise, in sickness and health and till death do us part and, for better or for worse, when you're young and happy and healthy and everything is beautiful. It's a lot harder to do it when life is getting complicated and messy, right? So here are the 5 tips that I think will really help you. The first tip is choose wisely. This is me and my husband, Daryl, on our wedding day. Choose somebody who is kind to you and to strangers and to animals, just kind in general. Not perfect, but, pretty close. Choose a partner who wants to be a partner and help you. Choose somebody who is compassionate to you, to others, to strangers. Choose somebody with a lot of empathy. That really makes it so much easier when life gets hard. And choose somebody who is fair, right? Who believes that you should have a fair experience and they should have a fair experience, not somebody who wants to make it all about them. We tend to focus in choosing a partner on a lot of the wrong things, right? So if you're just choosing cute and hot and rich and has a great car, you're probably not going to have a long-lasting marriage, because those things don't lead to long-term happiness. They lead to short-term happiness. So this is just like choosing to invest in a long-term stock. Choose one that has a long-term chance of working, not is going to look cute and fancy and not really get you anywhere. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is focus on figuring out how to solve the problems rather than giving up. You are going to encounter problems. You are going to encounter hardship. Focus on how do we get through this? How do we get across this? How do we get to the next thing? Instead of marinating in the problem and why it's so difficult. And also have the humility to know when you don't know something. All of us don't know everything, right? All of us need advice from time to time. So focus on having that humility and searching for the answer. Find someone that will help you get over the problem, not just marinate in the problem. All right, number 3, don't expect perfection. Gosh, this is huge. Your partner's going to disappoint you. Your partner's going to change. They are not going to be exactly who you thought they were. This happens to everybody because we all change. When Daryl and I got married, actually at this time, in that photo, he was very religious. He was raised Southern Baptist, and he's not religious anymore. He's pretty agnostic. I was, somewhat religious, and I've also changed because of the death of both of my parents, cancer, all sorts of things. I'm a lot less religious and more spiritual now. So you might think, we have the exact same values when we get married. We'll be fine forever. Nope. Life is going to beat you up and your values are going to change. So you want to make sure you have a partner that kind of changes with you. And if you feel like you guys are getting off the right track, is going to do something to help you get back on the right track. Maybe that's therapy, self-help books, whatever. But you want to have somebody who is going to work with you, and definitely don't expect perfection in your life, in your kids, in your partner, at work. Perfection just doesn't exist. Now, tip number 4, and God, I love this picture. This picture is framed on my bedside table, and I just adore the way he's looking at me. We were having our first dance, and that look, just looking at him right there right now makes me want to cry. So I really got so lucky with him. Okay, number 4, don't judge each other. Really, don't judge each other. We should all work to judge less. Judgment leads to so many problems. Support each other, encourage each other, ask for what you need, ask them what they need. Less judgment, more support will help you have a long-lasting marriage. And the 5th and final tip is have an us mindset, not a me mindset. It's only a win if we both win, not if you lose and I get everything I want. In the beginning of our marriage, I used to pick where we would go out for dinner almost 100% of the time. And it's a small thing, but it illustrates the point. It took me a while because I was dumb and, 25 to figure out maybe he wants to go where he wants to go. So thankfully I realized that, and we focused on having more of a us mindset, not a me mindset. I was guilty of that. So I hope these ideas will help you stay happy and healthy and stay married. It is the greatest gift I've ever received. And I truly believe that the quality of your relationships determines the quality of your life. And I should really thank Daryl's mom, because she's the person who gave me this wonderful human being that I am so blessed to love. I have a very rich and happy life because of him. And he has supported my career. He supported my choices, my grad school, my buying this house, which he didn't want to get, but I forced him because I love these trees. So I am so lucky, and I want this for you. Find somebody who looks at you like this, and I hope that you will be happy forever, and I hope that Daryl and I will have another 26 years of happiness together. I love you, sweetheart, and let's hope we get those 26 years.
If you are able to make it this far, thank you so much. And I hope you learned something from those very genuine men and women who were able to share those good tips. I will also add on a few, but from a woman's perspective. They have talked about respect. This is something really, really important in a marriage. Respect does not mean silence. And one of the biggest responsibility as a woman in marriage is to show respect to your husband or to your partner. And respect means, of course, not belittling your husband, whether at home or in public places. Show him respect. Even if you had a fight just before you walked out of the house, once you are out of the house, leave that fight behind and carry on like it's normal outside or in public. Like in my country, Uganda, for a girl, when you reach a certain stage or a certain age in your life, according to my culture, they begin sending you to some relatives, like your auntie, and this is an auntie, mostly from your father's side. They send you there, and the goal is for your auntie to instill some things in you, to talk to you, to train you, to teach you on a certain way of behaving, handling things, doing things, and it's mostly training you for the future marriage. So with that means you carry what your auntie has taught you. If they have told you, be a calm girl, be a listening girl, be respectful, those are mostly the things they tell you. Of course, they advise you, be respectful to your husband. Yeah. And then also they send you to your grandmother to also do the same. Especially grandmothers from your mother's side, they will send you there. And of course, with the grandmother, she will be sharing on some of the tips that she has learned, or some of the things that you need to learn to become a good woman or a good wife in the future. You're not supposed to speak down on him. If you have a fight or a quarrel, you still don't have to disrespect your husband. He remains your husband, and he remains the head of the home. Not embarrassing him in public, not treating him like a child. So you can still disagree with your husband, but with respect. Believe me, if you disrespect your husband, attraction is completely killed in that marriage. Yeah, someone has talked about this one. Communication, and it's not just communication. Good, clear, and mature communication. If you need something, be clear. If you need help, request, don't command. And if you communicate badly, of course it will turn him off. Even on something that he would have done for you, he may end up not doing it just because of the way you communicated it. And learn not to think that a man will guess what you want. Just be clear and good in your kind of communication with maturity. Then emotional safety is another thing, because in most cases men are not taught to be emotionally open. So when a man opens up to you as his partner or as his wife, your responsibility is not to use it against him later. Like if he has shared with you something that maybe has been bothering him, or something that hurt him, and he really felt like he became vulnerable, you as his wife or you as his partner, don't use it again against him later on in life, because you will destroy him. He will never open up to someone again. Emotional safety means that you listen to him without mocking him, encourage him instead of criticizing him all the time, and become his place of peace and not a place of fear. Yeah, so if a man is emotionally safe or feels emotionally safe with you, he will protect you, he will provide and commit more deeply. And then about intimacy. Intimacy is very important, but don't do it like it's just an obligation or you don't have any other choice, so you're doing it just for that. No, it's very important, but also do it with affection. Let it not come out like it's out of pressure, guilt, or duty. It should really come from the connection that you have between the two of you. So in this case, a woman's responsibility is just to communicate your needs and be honest about your desire while nurturing closeness. That is what real intimacy in a relationship should be, and not like out of fear of losing your man. Yeah, then show support for your husband. However, supporting your husband does not mean that you have to manage his entire life. You are his partner and not his mother, not his manager, or his therapist. Support means encouraging his goals, believing in him, believing in his growth, trusting in his competence. Otherwise, control can create resentment, but respect creates partnership. Then also teamwork, because marriage is not about just one person doing everything, like one person carrying all the emotional labor, one person sacrificing endlessly while the other is doing nothing. Teamwork looks like shared responsibility, appreciation, and fairness. Even if it is not, of course, perfectly, like 50-50 every day, but any support, any encouragement, any help, any shared responsibility is teamwork. Yeah, and then this big one, forgiveness. Forgiveness, but with, of course, boundaries. And this is really part of marriage. Forgiveness without boundaries becomes self-betrayal. So your work as a woman is to forgive when there is accountability. If your husband has done something and then he comes to you and opens up and asks for your forgiveness and apologizes for what he has done, then it will be upon you to forgive him, but of course with some boundaries set in. So just try to avoid repeated disrespect, because love does not really require enduring harm always over and over. Otherwise, that marriage will become unhealthy. Of course, as a woman, don't forget about yourself also. Continue growing. Do not lose yourself. Stay connected to your purpose. Stay connected to your interests. Stay connected to your identity, because growth keeps attraction alive. And believe me, a good man does not fear growing his woman. So all in all, be respectful, but don't stay silent. Show love while not forgetting yourself. Be supportive without controlling. Be forgiving, but not tolerant to disrespect. So with that, I'll come to the end of this video. And if this resonated with you, like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for staying with me till the end of this video, and let's catch up in the next one.